Here are 11 questions you should ask before you buy a property in Spain. If you're watching this video, you're thinking of buying a property in Spain, but before you buy a property, you should always ask the right questions. So in this video, I'm going to tell you 11 important questions you need to ask before you're going to buy a property here in Spain. For the ones that don't know me, my name is Olaf. I'm a real estate entrepreneur here in Barcelona. We help a lot of clients buy real estate over here. We also have a property management company and we occasionally do fix and flips. So these are some questions I personally always use, and yeah, you can use them too, and I think they're very important. So let's get started. Question number one is, why is the seller selling the property? This is a very important question. Why? Because you want to know what is the motivation of the seller. Is he going through the divorce? Is it an inheritance? They're going to move out to another city, or they already own a lot of properties and this is one of them and they're not in a rush to sell. You need to know the motivation of the seller in order to know, okay, how fast does the seller want to sell? How much can I bargain? So it's very important to know the underlying issue. Why is this person selling the property? So always start with this question like, okay, you did a visit and you asked the realtor or directly the seller, why is he or she selling the property? Question number two is, did you receive an offer? So we always ask, okay, did you already receive an offer? And for how much, and why did you decline it? So we get the more background information. If they didn't receive an offer, okay, we can know that we can make a lowball offer potentially if the seller is motivated. But if they already received an offer, for example, okay, we want to buy the property for 500,000 and it's listed for 550 and I already received an offer of 520. Yeah, there's not much point of digging deeper into this property. Question number three, we ask, does the property have all the necessary licenses and permits? For example, the Cédula Habitat is a very important document. Without this document, the apartment or house is not for residential purpose, so it's not livable. So this is a very basic document you need to have, because some properties, for whatever reason, they don't have this, or they're like a commercial real estate and they look like a residential property, but without the Cédula Habitat, the value of the property is significantly lower and officially you cannot live there or rent it out. People still do it, but it's not the right thing to do. So also, if you're gonna buy a tourist rental apartment or house, you want to know, does this building have a tourist rental license? So these questions are always important to ask. Does it have a Cédula Habitat? You're gonna buy a tourist rental apartment. Does it have a tourist rental license? So you're gonna ask, oh, does the apartment or house have all the necessary permits and licenses that are required? Question number four is very important, and this is mainly for apartments that are in buildings, and it's about the ITE. This is a technical inspection report of the building. So if a building is more than 40 or 45 years old, then the building needs to pass a technical inspection report. And be aware, these inspections reports can come with a lot of costs. So for example, we have a building that needs to be renovated and it's going to cost 100,000 euros. These costs are going to be for the owners of the apartment. And if you're buying the property and the ITE is not passed, these costs will be passed on to the new owner. And yeah, if you're going to buy a property, so you need to know, okay, if is the ITE passed and are the sellers covering the cost of the renovation for the future ITE if it's not passed, or is the new owner going to do that? So if you know this information, you can use it in your negotiation, or you can put a budget aside, because homeowner associations in Spain, they don't save that much money. Most of them have just like a couple of €1,000 in their bank account. So when there's a major renovation gonna happen, every owner needs to pay out of their pocket, and it's can easily be 5,000 up to 10,000 euros per owner. So be aware of this and ask this question: is the ITE passed? Yes or no? If no, what are the costs are going to be for the renovation of the building, and is the seller going to pay for that or the new owner? And I would say if the ETA is passed, then it's quite safe, and if it's negative, you should always use this for your negotiation when you make an offer. Question number 5. Are there any debts, mortgages, or legal issues on the property? In Spain, if you buy a property, the legal issues and debts go to the new owner. They don't move away with the person itself. So it's very important to ask this question. Of course, you need to verify all this information by a legal expert and check all the documentation if there are no debts, liens, or unpaid costs, for example, from the homeowners association, because otherwise they're gonna give you that ticket and you have to pay it when you're the new owner. So anyway, just ask this question, but of course use a legal expert to verify if this is all true. Question number 6. What are the ongoing costs of maintaining this property? So you want to know the property tax, this is EB in Spanish. You want to know the HOA fee, the maintenance cost of this property, because maybe on paper this deal looks very good, but then when you're going to calculate, there's going to be high property taxes, or there's a very high HOA fee, and your return is going to be significantly lower. So always double check what are these costs and ask these questions beforehand, so you're going to know, okay, this is yearly property tax, this is the monthly HOA fee, so you can exactly know how much money you're going to spend per month, and you know your cash flow. Question number 7. Has the property any major renovations or structural issues? So if they did major renovations in the past, double check their permits if everything is legalized. In Spain, especially with houses or even some apartments, a lot of renovations have been done not legally, added square meters, and then if you're gonna do this later, you're gonna legalize it, they're like, all these years the property hasn't paid property tax for these added square meters, there's an extra bill coming up for you. So ask them, have they done any major renovations, and then ask for proof and check their licenses if everything is done in the correct way, so you don't have any problems in the future. Question number 8, usually ask this question also in the beginning, and it's a very important question, is are you open for negotiation? So you want to know, is the seller open for a lower offer? How much is there to negotiate? And my advice is always, if you want to make a good deal, of course, if you want to live there yourself, negotiation is less important. But if it's an investment property, just start with an offer that is so embarrassing, too low, that you know they're going to say no. If they say yes on your first offer, it means you didn't offer low enough. So always start with a low ball offer and then raise your offer gradually. Question number 9, what's the real market value of this property? It's very important to ask yourself and the realtor, what is their market value of this property? So they give you a number, and then also check yourself if this number is correct. And ask your buyer agent, what do you think of the real market value of this property? So in Spain, a lot of seller agents, they list the property too high, and it's very normal that they list the price maybe 10% over market value, or the price is not correct. So check the average square meter price in the area that you're going to buy, check comparable properties that are on the market, and ask yourself, the realtor, and the seller agent, what is the real market value of this property, so you're not going to overpay. Question number 10, are there any upcoming projects or zoning changes in the neighborhood or in the specific area that's nearby your property? Imagine you're buying a dream house with sea view, and then afterwards they're gonna buy a new high rise that's gonna block your sea view. So you bought this property house with a nice swimming pool, open view, and 2 years later there's a building blocking your view. So this can happen. It's important to know, okay, what's going to happen around the neighborhood where I'm buying in. Is there any new projects going on? Because of course there's going to be noise complaints. It can scare away your tenants, your short-term rental guests, if there's a lot of construction going on. Can also work in your favor if you know there's a lot of new projects ongoing further away. It's gonna develop the area and there's gonna be more appreciation. So it can work both ways. It can work in your favor or it can be unfavorable depending if it's gonna be in a negative way for your property, or positive if it's gonna make the area better and therefore appreciate your property more in the long term. So ask this question so you know you're up to date what's gonna happen in the specific neighborhood in the long term. Then the last question, question number 11, can the seller provide all documentation for the property, such like utility bills, nota simple, just the basic documentation that you need to close the property? If they're not willing to give this basic documents, it's a huge red flag. There's something wrong with the property. And pro tip, always put in your offer in the diligence clause. Usually we put 5 working days in our offer saying, okay, we want to review all documentation. So yeah, when you talk to a realtor, explain that when you're gonna make an offer, you're gonna put this due diligence clause into it. Some real estate agents here, they don't really understand that, but most of them understand. For me, it's a basic thing you need to put in there because otherwise you don't know what you're buying. You need to have an insurance. So in this due diligence clause, you put, okay, I want 5 working days to inspect all documentation. If we're not satisfied with the documents for whatever reason, we can get back out of the deal and get our earnest money deposit back. A lot of people don't do this. They lose money when they find out, oh, there's something wrong with the property, and they lose 3,000 euros because there's no due diligence clause. So fix this, put it in your offer, and ask this question if they can provide all documentation, and let your legal expert check it. And there you have it, your 11 important questions you need to ask before you buy a property in Spain. Of course, there are more questions you can ask, but I would say with these questions, you cover a lot. And yeah, always have someone that guides you through the process. Don't go do this on your own. Of course, I'm a real estate agent, but yeah, just my advice is to have someone that has experience in the field and is a buyer agent, so not a seller, because yeah, they're representing both the seller and the buyer and they just want to sell the property. So have someone that can help you through the process and make the right questions for you, or at least when you ask those questions, have someone that analyzes the answers and verify if everything is correct. So if you're interested in buying real estate in Barcelona, we can definitely help you to ask the right questions for you and get the right answers and find the best properties here in the city. So if you're interested in buying real estate in Barcelona, yeah, you can hit me up on Instagram or LinkedIn. At least thank you for watching. If you like these videos, don't forget to subscribe and give a like.